Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10th Spoken Word and Poetry Open Mic Night, brought to you by none other than Blue Balloon Theatre. Hooray! I am absolutely buzzing to see you all tonight. Like, this is going to be lit. We've got hopefully two amazing headliners for you this evening, as well as some incredible poets from all around the UK, which is, again, amazing. And what is even lovelier is that we've got newbies yet again, which is amazing that we've somehow managed to reach you. I don't know how, but we have, and it's wonderful, and I love it. So just a couple of little things to go over before we get started is if you could keep your microphones on mute whilst other performers are doing their thing, and use the chat box to your advantage. Let's share loads of love, warmth and positivity in there for all of the performers. And of course, tag us on social media if you'd like to. We are at Blue Balloon MCR on all platforms. So yeah, we'd love to see you enjoying your evening. And without further ado, I would like to invite the first headliner to the microphone or to the laptop, because we're still on Zoom apparently. Ushiku, where you at, brother?
Good old Manchester. Well, technically, we're both Manchester, but I'm in the arse end near Mosley. Right on the Mosley-Ashton border, me.
Nice. Well, the floor is yours, my friend.
Cheers. So with you being Blue Balloon Theatre, I figured for my first piece I'd do, well, it's all going to be extracts of my play. I'm working on a play about autistic authenticity called Unmasked that challenges the language around masking and all that kind of stuff, and just really kind of saying a screw you to defining disabled people. I think we should be able to define ourselves and just live our lives independently. So my first piece, it's a bit of improvised acting and then a poem that follows it. So it's kind of going to seamlessly go into one piece. And here's all my socials while I just get in the zone. I suppose the most unusual aspect of growing up neurodivergent was, for me at least, not knowing. I knew dyspraxia affected my coordination and that no amount of walking across a white line, one foot in front of another at occupational therapy could ever change that. I knew he had some physical differences that resulted in difficulties with certain tasks, but my mind, it was alive with stories and a thirst for knowledge. It was around 10 years old when the idea was bandied about that there might be more to me than just dyspraxia. I didn't know it at the time, but the previous 5 years of prodding and poking, taking me out of school for appointments, both child psychologist and occupational therapy, was to see if I had any of the same psychological issues as my biological parents. I remember telling the child psychologist, Dr. Bowers, with great fear and anger, I don't want to be doing 2 + 2 for the rest of my life like some retard. And I told him, I want to go to a proper secondary school. A year or so later, I was told I was fine, but the years of being a human guinea pig felt less so. I didn't know at the time that dyspraxia had a mental component beyond the physical, nor did I know that the reason for all these tests was because the doctors wanted to know if I suffered from the same mental illnesses as my biological parents. I certainly didn't know what Asperger's was, nor how, 18 years later, I'd be diagnosed with it as an adult. But with the caveat that because I was sociable and confident, it was harder to read from yet another medical professional. They might have found it difficult to see, as I did too. However, for other kids, it was clear as day that there was something other about me. But I'm not mad. I was fucking tested for that. Not even disappointed either. What I can say though, is that the knowledge of self is never self-contained. Who you are is neither who you perceive yourself, nor how you're perceived. There's an entirety in all of us that is unknowable. But I do know more than that 10-year-old boy, and for that, I'm glad. Who can say retard? Is it Dominic?
Well
Who
said.
you'd think would have some understanding of social othering, being ginger and all. Apparently not. Who can say retard? Is it the countless classmates, pupils, strangers that called me a spaz and denoted me as Mr. Skits because they had a backbone that wouldn't be broken by their words and a right fist ready to answer them? Who can say retard? Is it Lee's dad, who didn't so much say it in words, but would shout my name and chase me down the street until I acknowledged his sarcastic greetings? Who can say retard? Not me, apparently, but it's often been said to me and about me. Cheers. That was my first piece. And I wrote the second half of that last night because initially the first part was part of a narrative storytelling workshop that I did with LeBlanc's memoir project. And then at the New Eurekan last night, someone got a bit offended on my behalf or on disabled people's behalf, but fuck it, I'm both, so whatever. I figured I'd respond in kind and just live my authentic truth. This next piece, it's the first song that I wrote as part of it because it's going to be like a hip hop musical with like bits of improvised acting and monologues and all that. This one's called Boy, How the Pendulum Swings. Boy, how the pendulum swings. It goes up, it goes down, and it spins me around. Boy, how the pendulum swings. See me rise, see me fall, then repeat and recoil. Boy, how the pendulum swings. But how can they know what the truth of me is when I don't even know myself? I see the pendulum swinging, my ears are ringing, sensory overload and my eyes are stinging. A brew solves everything, so grab me the kettle as the story of my life begins to unravel. Am I the hero? Am I the villain? Fuck that, just leave me alone like penicillin. Wherever the stage is, know that I'd be killing, but these murderous crows cash you out for a shilling, unwilling to turn the other cheek. Lo me be broken, my scars are kintsugi. I'm a gift from God, but y'all can call me Ushi. Boy, how the pendulum swings. It goes up, it goes down, and it spins me around. Boy, how the pendulum swings. See me rise, see me fall, then repeat and recoil. Boy, how the pendulum swings. But how can they know what the truth of me is when I don't even know myself?
That was epic.
This last one, it's the one that I was originally going to do at saying, but then there was like so much Mancunian energy that I ended up doing that another Manc Melody one. So this one, it's about like how when you're like autistic and you're obsessed with something, it's considered a bad thing. Like if you really like Star Wars or really like poetry or anything that's a bit nerdy, it's considered a special interest. Yeah, it's considered perfectly normal to spend $3,000 a year to go and watch your team fucking lose. And as a United fan, that was fucking devastating the other week. Still not over that final loss.
Mate, try being a City fan in a Champions League final.
Oh, no. This piece, it's called Malachor, because in Star Wars, there's a place called Malachor 5, where there was a massive battle between the Mandalorians, the Jedi, and the Sith. There was a massive super weapon that just destroyed everything on Malachor 5, and then I was like, oh, Malachor, they kind of rhyme, don't they? What if I make a nerdy Star Wars piece where every bar is a Malachor? Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? So here we go. It's nerdy as fuck, and I hope you like it. A long, long time ago, in the dialects far removed, this lyrical droid switched the flip on what one would assume I'm strong in the force. My diction's hereditary, got blastified by still above and finds tendency to execute order 66. I'm killing MCs whose standard slips. Can take a gun at school, but it don't make it eloquent. The ability to speak don't make you intelligent. Only the Sith dealing Russian vodka. I'm the Dark Lord, you're bound for fodder. Can take a Wookiee from Kashyyyk and make it a slave. So don't count your youngness till they reach the grave. Tell me, why did the Jedi cross the stars to get far, far away from my empire's hands? Check out the Malifaux, electrifying idioms as they've never been before. Very dark man can cast a mass shadow. Digger diminutive powers are hollow. My lyrical Lorians are parsecs ahead. It's frightening. I'm a millennial falcon, swifter than us lightning. If you try to step to me, you ain't surviving this. Wound in the gut, you hip-hop half nihilist. I'm whimsically ascending the jovial summit like Hoth to the flames, my enemies plummet into a depravity that's worse than lecherous. Resurrect and dissect like the carcass of venomous. Lyrical precision is a rapper's greatest weapon. I'm expecting in your mind, just like the mask of river. Now haunt you with darkness you do not possess. But my essence just transfers to your ears instead. You're fractured and stilted while I'm smashing the Stilton. Cause the planet of Mortis is where I get my skills from. What you call legends, I call contemporaries. The dark side of hip-hop paid homage and sent for me. I am the vessel, hip-hop is a totem. I sacrifice lines from my art-like moment. The altar is ready, you may call it a stage. The universe weeps on a beat from a rage. Check out the Malifaux, electrifying idioms as they've never been before. Very dark man can cast a mass shadow. They give it diminutive, powers are hollow. My lyrical Lorians are parsecs ahead. It's frightening. I'm a millennial falcon, swifter than us lightning. If you try to step to me, you ain't surviving this.
Oh my word. That was incredible. Can we just take a minute? Round of applause.
Yay!
My goodness me.
I've been to a fair few events, and that's the first, and it was fucking brilliant.
Ushiku, thank you so much, man. That was incredible. Like, wow. I wish I had that rhythm when I read poetry. That was like, you were spitting words, man. That was sick. Oh, wow. What a way to start. I don't even know what to say. We've had a comment in the chat box, Ushiku, saying, is that recorded somewhere? Because Tom's Star Wars mates would really like that.
Yeah, so it's on my Instagram. If you go on Ushiku_Crasifulli on Instagram, I've put the link in the chat. It's on my IGTV. I put it up like about a month ago now, so check it out.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much, man. That was honestly such an amazing set. And we wish you every bit of luck with your play as well. I'm certain we'll all be there to watch after that. That was epic. Yes, this is cool. So without further ado, let's keep this energy going. Let's move on to our next poet of the night. So we've got Steve. Steve is a returning poet with us. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
We can indeed.
Yeah, may I do 3?
Yeah, of course.
And I do apologise, I've forgotten your name. I remember eyes, smiles and clothes, so I remember I enjoyed talking to you, but I've forgotten your name.
Do not worry, my name's Becca.
Becca, okay. Nice one. So I'll just go straight into it.
Yeah, you go for it, Steve, whenever you're ready.
Sorry if I cut out, and let me just tell me socially distanced friends to stay quiet.
Financial advisor.
Yeah, shh. Right. My favourite author is Carlos. One of my favourite authors is Carlos Castaneda, and he once said, "Without an unswerving love for the world, the planet that supports you, aloneness will always be loneliness." So this is my environmental poem. It's called Environmentally Sound. Don't say pollution we're not affected, because we are to everything eternally connected. So let's not leave it to just the elected. We need to work together to keep safe and protected, and the planet needs to be both loved and supported, and its abuse should not go unreported. Will the earth die screaming? Let's achieve our future dreaming and give love a truer meaning. Instead of chucking out, we should repair and redistribute wealth and resources to be more fair. Reuse, resell, and also recycle. Don't use your car today, use the free cycle. You see, the moral code was so rapacious and the greed involved utterly voracious. So let's change the image of people who waste as irresponsible, unhealthy, and in bad taste, and appreciate moreover the woods of the planet. It's our top right now. War, waste, and pollution. Instead of being the problem, become part of the main solution. Thanks.
Woo, 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 woo.
That was amazing. Very,
Nice one,
very.
Steve.
Shall I go on? Thanks. Shall I go on the next one?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mum.
This is one about another important issue, homelessness. I experienced it for a year, but it really offended. I was quite brutalised, so I was quite like resistant to it from the fear point of view. It was the feminine side of me that really suffered, and this poem sums it up. But in this poem, I've become the girl begging instead of me. So in terms, oh my God, how am I here? Cold and alone, yet last week sharing a beer, a flat, a degree, then signing on the dole, partying hard, sanctioned, then in a hole. The more I borrowed, the less I had. Drinking like a fish, getting more and more mad. A second sanction, while the rest is history. Now a lone female begging, it's all a mystery. I feel numb, act dumb, can't look them in the eye. My cup's got no gold, only bronze, I could cry. Where will I stay tonight? I've only got £6. I could get raped like the girl sat opposite did. Oh Lord, have mercy, when will it end? The teenagers laughing, cold stares, no friend. The children ask, why is she on the floor, Mum? Oh, what I'd do for a razor and a bottle of rum. It's cold and dark as my tears fall dry. My only hope to look up at the sky and hope there's a goddess that'll let me die. Here's a £5, love, don't fret, it'll end. I'll always give you summer, you need a friend. Thanks, I choked, then the tears cascade. My unfeeling mask, now a masquerade. It will get better, he asserts, nearly weeping. I'm here to help. Oh, that's my daughter beeping. He left and I thought his daughter was once me, driving off whilst glancing back to see a girl who had it all until fate dealt this blow of nothing to say, nothing to do, and nowhere to go. Life's just not funny no more, ho, 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 as the night beckons my dread. Oh, no, no, no. That's it.
Nice one, bro.
That was brilliant, Steve. And let me just be the first to say, And I'm sure everyone will agree that you've got a friend in us. Absolutely. That was absolutely incredible. Beautiful words.
Just when I need to hear you, but that might be fake.
Oh, can you still hear me?
Cutting in and out. Is that computer making that happen or?
No. Turn it off if you want.
Okay, but I appreciate what I heard and what you said. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I'll do my last one. It's a cheery one. I'll do my last one. It's a cheer. This last one's very funny story attached to it. I wrote it 3 years ago. And I sent it to being a pescatarian, write about the enemy, something nice. McDonald's is my enemy. There are other meat establishments. And I basically wrote a poem praising them to see if I could do it. You know, love thy neighbour, love thy enemy, all that sort of thing. And I did it, and I sent it off to McDonald's. They didn't even send me a burger voucher. After I sent 5 letters to find out what they thought, because everyone told it was good, they still didn't reply. So I phoned complaints and said, I sent you a poem. So I said, can I read it out to you? I'd like your opinion. And he said, oh, that's on all the managers' walls. And he said, sorry. I said, oh, it's on all the piece of Mac something in London. So I'll read out the poem. I bet you want to hear it now. Hello?
Yeah, we definitely do.
Good. It's called Sanity. Did you hear that? Because you cut out on the sanity.
Huh?
Yeah.
Read it out.
Yeah.
Okay. How can windows be made of sand? And why doesn't the branch break when a bird lands? I'm confused, need something to do with my hands. Push the door. Macadee's sanity lands. In the queue, I ponder why fillets are always unevenly stacked. And is it better to buy 2 cheeseburgers or just 1 Big Mac? Oh, wow, there's a gal sat near my rucksack. Better collect my order and get there in a hurry. She seems nice, so I think I'll grab her a McFlurry. I smiled, said hello to the treat. Chill with me, she said, so I went grab a seat. As I slid in opposite, she asked my name. Ronald, but call me Mac. She replied, don't play games. We began our meal, no cutlery to be seen, but we felt at ease sharing her chicken supreme. We chatted, explored, time flew, couldn't believe my luck. Then I asked, could we plot over breakfast? We could both go Dutch. A coffee, bacon roll to help move things on a touch. She agreed delightedly and then friended me on Facebook. We hugged, she glided into the night. And glowing M's still lit. I'm amused McDonald's brings people together. And right now, thank you for having me.
Woo, 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 woo.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Steve. That was brilliant. I definitely want a McDonald's now, though.
Hello.
Oh, are you still here, Ross?
Next. Oh, wait, I'm getting it.
Well, thank you
Did you
so
get
much,
it? Yeah.
Steve.
I'll just read what's coming up on the screen. Say what you thought about it on the screen. I can read that without it cutting out.
Perfect. We'll put it in the chat box for you, Steve. But that was absolutely fantastic. Amazing.
It's good to write about your enemy and see what it brings out. Everything is a perspective in a way.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. What fantastic words you've shared with us tonight. Thank you so much. I am now going to move on to the next performer, which is...
Thanks. It's
You're
been
welcome.
a pleasure.
As always, Steve.
I'm going to switch over to the match. Nothing personal. Here's the last bit of advice about taking personal. I once read by another favourite author, John Fowles. He said, molecules either attract or repel, which we are at base, and they don't take it personally whether they attract or repel, and we are molecules. So that's a nice bit of advice to end up.
You know what? That's a really sound bit of advice. Thank you, Steve, and do enjoy the match.
Thank you very much. I will enjoy it more if one wins over the other.
Absolutely. I think we all will, to be honest.
See you later,
Bye.
everyone.
Amazing. Oh, I love that. Wonderful. So our next poet of the evening is the wonderful Janey. Janey is a returning creative with us and just an amazing poet in every way. So the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a lovely introduction. Thank you very much. My voice is a little bit rough today after doing the art space last night and hosting for 3 hours. I'll do my best. But this, I'm just going to do 2 short ones. And this first one, actually, Richard's heard this one because I do it at Rise every time. Everybody's going to know it off by heart that comes to my Rise events. So I wrote it especially for the launch of this series of events that I'm curating, poetry events. But it also seemed fitting. And I actually wrote it just before just as the pandemic was starting to kick off, not long before lockdown. So I felt like I normally write a lot of protest poems and a lot of like writing about social issues. And this year I've just felt like writing connection poems, really, at the moment. So that's what this is. May you rise like the phoenix from the ashes, reignite your precious embers, break from your constraints to dance on air. Rise like the swelling tide, the harvest moon, rise like you will dare. Rise like you're awakened from 100 years' sleep. Rise and keep on rising like a mountain, heaving, growing, peaking, endlessly replenishing from deep within. Rise above the mist to see the early morning sun. Rise like tender seedlings bravely pierce the frost. Rise and mend your heart as your breath caressed becomes your words let loose. Arise and say your peace in truth. Arise from fear to be here now, alive, more alive than you have ever been. Rise and you are seen. Rise and lift each other up. Rise for freedom. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you very much. This next one is a short one as well. I actually wrote it a couple of years ago, a few years ago, in fact. But it's the one that I entered for the Festival of Making's poetry competition of Earth and Sky, which we were talking about at the beginning. And it was on the digital screen in Blackburn. Well, part of it was. They just put little snippets on, didn't they? And it's called If I Were a Tree. And I actually wrote it sitting by the river in Darwin, where I live, looking at the tree that I was writing about. If I were a tree, I would be the trembling, quivering aspen, easily shaken, yet in the wind find empathy. In harmony, a whisper soft yet mighty, my underside exposed, sweet, pale and downy. Fluttering like many waving hands, living prayer flags yielding to the roar of earth. A whispering crescendo, acoustic murmurations ascending in response, as breath of earth caresses the edge of every leaf, extended on silk ribbons to catch her song and sing with all my heart, for I belong. Thank you. I don't know if you're familiar with aspen trees, but they really, really flutter. Their leaves are on a really long stem. So they really like, make a really, lots of noise in the wind. That's me. Is it all right to give my Rise event a mention? Thanks. 1st of July, I'm hosting Rise Spoken Word at the Bureau, online on Zoom. And we've got headliner Cat Hepburn, Scottish poet. And we've got Johnny Lindsay from Accrington, who's a fantastic young local poet as well. And we've got open mic slots available. Tickets are £5. So I'll put the link in the chat box. Thanks very much.
Thank you so
And
much.
It's a lovely night as always, with lots of really amazing poetry. You're all great. Thank you.
Thank you, Janey. Wow. I've just put in the chat box, there was something so melodic about that second poem especially. It was beautifully written. Like, my goodness. You've got a real knack for incorporating this sort of musical, melodic nature into your poetry. I love it. I love it.
Oh, thank you. I did actually write some chords for that. I'm not a very good guitarist. So I sort of like spoken word over the top of it.
That makes sense now.
I didn't intend to do that when I wrote the poem, but that's what came along afterwards, because I thought, oh yeah, that's got a musicality to it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's so cool. And
Thank
everyone
you.
should go and check out Rise as well. Janey hosts incredible events. I'm still yet to actually go to one, because every time they're on, I've got usually another open mic with Blue Balloon to do. But I'm hoping to make the one in July because it looks amazing. So do go and check that out. But thank you again, Janey. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. So,
thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. Next up, we've got a brand new creative. Tom, where you are? It's Tom's turn.
It's me. Hello. Thank you for having me. This is only going to be my second time live performing, I guess.
Wow.
So I only took poetry up at the start of not even start of lockdown, mid-lockdown. It was really, I just found it a really good way to sort of, express myself in ways. And yeah, I just sort of started in lockdown, really. So here I am, because obviously if you start poetry in lockdown, well, you can't perform live. So this is like one of my first live events. So thank you for having me. Cool. So my first one, this is probably the first one that I had sort of success with. I put BBC Radio Manchester took it, and it's all about male body positivity. It's something I'm really passionate about. I feel like the female body positivity is going in the right direction, but male one is just not going anywhere. So this is my sort of call out to all my chubby lads like me out there. This is called Here's to the Lads. Here's to the lads that are worried about their weight, worried about the thoughts of their next Tinder date. Here's to the lads who cover their belly when they sit, folding our arms crossed because we feel like shit. Here's to the lads whose shirts pop open when we're taking a seat, aware our flab seeps through like a piece of meat. Here's to the lads who have stretch marks on their arms, legs and tummy and avoid mirrors because they make us feel crummy. Here's to the lads who hesitate to take their top off, constantly thinking somebody will make fun or laugh. Here's to the lads who have just let themselves go a bit, got in a comfortable relationship and aren't quite as fit. Here's the lads that are scared of the gym, conscious of being judged by muscle men or someone slim. Here's the lads who just constantly sweat just because we're a bit heavy set. Here's the lads who turn the lights off during sex or not comfortable, sending body pics, flex or show their pecs. Here's the lads who do fad diets or skip meals and are fed up of salads and shit healthy meal deals. Here's the lads who, when shopping for clothes, they're either too baggy or too tight, trying on reams of clothes because they don't quite fit right. Here's the lads who aren't represented in film or TV because apparently bigger guys can't be the love interest or be happy. Here's the lads who are always the butt of the fat joke because you can't let it get to you because you're just a bloke. And here's the lads who have been told, let's just be friends because that person thinks you're not the perfect tens. Well, lads, I say fuck them. They're shallow and they're dumb. So I'm here to tell you, my big boned, chubby, plump, voluptuous lads, you are sexy, you are attractive and you are hot. So let's show the world what we've got. Beautiness and sexiness and self-worth should not be measured by your size. We shouldn't be fed these constant lies. Don't conform to what society says, because you have got sex appeal for fucking days. There you go. Thank you very much. My next one is called What's the Rush? I feel like when you enter your 20s and it goes all the way up to your sort of late 30s, people have got very much different timelines. I feel like you're on a very similar path up until you're about 20, 21, your education and all that sort of stuff. And then 20 and 21 hits, you start spearing off into different ways, and your timeline sort of goes off. So there's a lot of pressure on people to either have kids, get married, renting, all that sort of stuff. So this is my sort of love letter to people. Stop rushing people and just focus on your own fucking timeline. So here we go. Why are people in their 20s and 30s under constant pressure? Our lives always up for measure. Our friends and family have us surrounded, always making us feel hounded by the talk of children, houses, or an engagement. I'll do them when I'm ready, not for your entertainment. How can I bring a child into this world when everything I own is either rented or on loan? What if at this time I've got no interest in kids, bibs, or wiping skids? Because God forbid I want to go off traveling from China to Madrid, or putting time and effort into my career, or simply just not ready for responsibility and I just want to chill and have a beer. That's okay. Why is it when you get to 25 and haven't got the kid, dog, or four-wheel drive, that's seen as a surprise? And why, when you approach 30, not being settled down, that's seen as dirty? Then when you surpass that age and not got any of that, it just causes an outrage. Because apparently as soon as you hit the big 3-0, that's it, you're done. The countdown has begun. You're no longer allowed to have fun because it's time your life got serious. You've lost sight, become delirious. So what? What's the rush? Why does it matter what someone else is doing or prioritizing or pursuing? You just come across so fucking overbearing with your constant comparing. You have no idea what other people are going through. So please have some sensitivity around all this too. We all have our own timeline, and that's fine. And if you've got a child, you've got the mortgage, a husband or wife, great, fantastic, that's your life. Don't push your ideals onto my timeline. So please don't ask me when I'm next getting married, buying a house, or having kids again. Just fuck off, shut up, and stay in your own lane. There you go. And then my last one is called Generation Rent. This is probably my most successful poem that I've had. This has been across BBC Radio Manchester. It's been on BBC iPlayer, all that sort of stuff. And it's all about the wonderful world of renting. It is an absolute bastard of a world. We're part of this generation where we just can't, it's really hard to buy a house in this sort of climate. And, at that point, you want to try and save a deposit, but you're paying rent and you just can't get the money together. So this is Generation Rent. So I'm part of this generation rent where it's near impossible to save that deposit percent, where we live in these subpar accommodations, paying sky-high rent just because of the okay location. Ignore the broken taps, draft and bad heat circulation because you've got good transport links and a train station. Well, it's a catch-22. We are forced to believe we should be grateful to just have a roof over our head. And if not, well, you're threatened with, well, there's somewhere else instead. So we live in fear of a landlord, terrified of damaging things like a skirting board, because your entire existence just strives towards getting that deposit back. It turns into a game show of avoiding any broken setbacks. But we all know it's a fixed competition, no matter how you leave the housing condition. And when you're renting, you never, ever settle. Always looking over your shoulder, wishing they'd come sort out that ever-growing black moulder, and they can just kick you out with no explanation at the drop of a hat. Hand you a Section 21 just like that. And you live by their rules, and they make sure you don't forget. No kids, smoking, decorating, not even a pet. And if they find out you've disappeared, well, your 2 months notice comes through straight away. And then you start the renting game again, moving through the gears of stress and strain. Your earnings, background, and credit come under the microscope. Then come the deposit, admin charges, which are just a joke. And it just makes me think, if I just stopped doing this, I could probably afford a house for me and my miss. But then you go to the bank who aren't sure if you can afford a mortgage repayment of £400. Well, look, Karen, look at my background. You can see I've been paying £900 rent for the past 10 years, and you've got fears I can't repay what I'm paying now? Right, cheers. The system needs a big revamp because getting on the property ladder, well, it just looks fucking damp. Thank you very much. I just want to finish on this really short poem. It's called The Outsider. You know, I really not really a poet, but I've, you know, become in this world, and I thought poetry was more of a posh person's hobby than something for me. So this is just what I like to finish on in my set. So for so long, I thought poetry was not for me. To be in this world, I thought I needed a literary degree, not a lad who only just scraped C in an English GCSE. For so long, I felt excluded. I was deluded I'd give this a go. I never thought I'd meet other poets and go toe to toe. I always thought poetry was a posh person's hobby. And if I ever tried it, I thought they'd just be all snobby. Because as an outsider looking in, I always thought this stuff was for the elite, not a working class lad from the Bolton Street. The fact is, growing up, poetry never really interested me. In a class, it was all thou, thus, and articulating my T's, which lost my interest. I just wanted to go and leave class and do keepy-uppies. But now I realise I hadn't found the right voice, because in school, you're given no other choice. Shakespeare, Poe, Wilde, those are the ones we had to earmark, when we should have been given the option of Harrington, R. Kidd, and John Cooper Clarke. We need to make poetry more accessible so people can be taught to be more expressible. You don't need to be a literary buff to understand. I wish someone had told me that beforehand. So let's discover new voices and take out the pretension. Then you'll see that more people will pay attention. There you go. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Tom. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes to that last poem. My God. If that's something I've learned in the last sort of few years of doing these open mics, it's that we need to make poetry more accessible to anybody that wants to be exposed to it. Thank you so much for sharing your words, mate. You're so passionate and such a natural when you deliver your words. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And welcome to the Blue Balloon family.
Yay!
Oh, I love it when this happens. Amazing. Wow, we've had so many incredible performances so far this evening. I'm already like completely blown away and so inspired, which is just fantastic. And let's keep that going. And by the way, everyone that's performed so far, do check out the comments in the chat box. There's some really positive stuff going on in there, and you deserve all the praise. So do go and read those. Right, next up, without further ado, Ilaria, my gal, where you at? Let's get you on.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, this is a good night, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, lovely. So I normally, oh, what am I doing here? Oh God, I'm so old. I don't know what I'm doing on this computer. So I normally do a lot of like funny stories, but during lockdown, I've written something that's very different for me. So I've written all about, so I'm 33 now, and I think for the past few years, I've thought like, what actually is happiness? Like, is it a moment? Is it a thing? Everybody says that they are, but I don't know. Not something I've really experienced as a whole yet. I've had moments. So I kind of wrote about that, and it's called Almost In. You know that feeling of completeness, the feeling of everything just slotting into place and just being, I don't know, right? No, neither do I. People talk about it all the time, how they found something or reached a stage in their life when everything clicked into place, even if it was just for a short period of time. I can honestly, hand on my heart, say I have never experienced that. And it's not for want of trying, believe me. I think I've almost, very almost felt shades of it, but then it disappears before I get a chance to grab it. People say crap like, oh, when you know, and oh, it all just fell into place. Oh, did it now? Could you just piss off, please? Always say please. I'm not a miserable person, but I'm either the life and soul or I just want to run away. I think we all feel like that from time to time, but that doesn't get as many likes on social media. Pretending the sun coming out cheered you up is something you might say, but secretly you might not care less. The sun coming out won't close the extra 15 tabs that I've got open in my brain. Only 2 of them actually matter, but the others are there just jabbing away. Will I always be upset about what my art teacher said to me when I was 14? Tax return. Am I giving enough to charity? Tax return. Is my mum proud? Tax return. Should I have achieved more? Tax return. Am I too old to be this clueless? Will that rat that I saw in my garden be waiting for me in the morning? Tax return. So there you go. I'm a bit scrambled, more than rough around the edges, but so are you, right? The thing that usually defines an adult is the company that they choose to keep. I've read that in a book. I spent my teenage years feeling slightly behind the glass, there, but not quite, looking in. But I'd always read and heard that university is where you find your people. That wasn't the case for me though. Within the first few months, I'd already become the last to leave every party, but also the one to never miss a lecture in the morning. This meant wearing several different metaphorical hats: good student hat, and the hat you wear to never miss a social occasion, house party, club night, extra rehearsal, early seminar. I was at every single one of them. So this meant different people in my life. These people didn't cross paths, so they didn't ever meet the person in my other life. And all these identities were getting a bit exhausting. My friends now are in 2 very distinct groups: the tits and lips and the arty ones. Now, the tits and lips are opinionated, fashionable and gorgeous. A flurry of constant WhatsApp messages, memes, diet tips, and which selfie shall I upload? Suggesting, oh, the one you look the happiest in. Never goes down well as good advice. If you take your eyes off your phone for a couple of hours, then you're lost. A scroll for the highlights includes the odd dick pic, an overly edited full body shot in a mirror, and a picture with a full face of makeup on with the caption, "I hate my skin without makeup." There's an argument every day within this group, but they make friends just as quickly, so it just adds to the drama. Now, I'm more of a watcher than an active participant in the arguing. I sense a storm brewing, and then there's my cue to switch to my other beloved group of weirdos, the arty ones. Now, we have shared interests in theatre and writing. We all have similar political views, and we're avocado toast enthusiasts. We all have a reusable coffee cup and wear dungarees. But I always feel secretly judged when I say, I haven't read the book, but I've seen the film. And if they say, love your dress, where's it from? Do I say, oh, it's vintage? Or do I tell the truth and say, once again, I increased my carbon footprint and got it from a cheap website? Now, these are the friends that I'd watch a play with, reminisce about old sitcoms, and share chickpea recipes with. Now, I don't fit into either of these groups comfortably. Each group sees me more like the other one, which can leave me feeling like I'm either a weak version of both or a complete fraud. Being a member of the Tits and Lips is fascinating. It's so much more than friendship. It's like low-level detective work. The sassiest member of the Tits and Lips crew was sent a borderline psychotic gift in the post from one of her many secret admirers. She had no idea which one of them had sent her the present, and she couldn't ask outright, was it you that sent me that creepy moon lamp, or was it one of the others? So she had to keep up the pretense of putting on her lipstick and wearing an off-the-shoulder top in her lockdown FaceTime dates to look naked just for them. The Tits and Lips gang spent days trying to figure out who the man behind the moon lamp was. It's been months and we still don't know. The arty ones leave you feeling intellectually stimulated with 5 books added to my I will read this year list. This group has been the reason that I embraced my bohemian upbringing and ditched the fake tan. The most vintage-clad member of the group suggested that we all try laughter yoga. We booked our place on the workshop and all met up outside the venue, wondering what on earth we were all letting ourselves into. After 10 minutes, it became very apparent that it was some sort of sexual cult thing. The touching, the breathing, all that swaying. I half expected Sting to walk in partway through and said, "Right, take your clothes off." Sting doesn't talk like that. The ticket price included a buffet, so I wrapped up some of the flapjacks and hid them in my rucksack. I couldn't look any of the arty ones in the eyes for a few weeks. That's maybe where having another group is handy. Now, I love both groups equally, but the two cannot be mixed. It would go from the best of both worlds to the worst of both worlds in one evening. They both have laughter and lots of substance, but I'm made up of something different and I haven't found that mixture in a group yet. The closest I've ever had to almost being in was a few years ago when I went to a creative residential course in a beautiful village outside of Barcelona. The course was called The Art of Comedy, and it was brilliant. We stayed in a big farmhouse in the country where people from all over the world would come to live, create, and just be together. It's a gorgeous experience, and no one fits in because everyone is just really weird. One night, we were all chatting after dinner. The table was cleared, and most of us were onto our third glass of wine. I felt it coming. Almost, and then gone. Was that it? Had I almost found my home, or was I just getting a bit tipsy? I spent the rest of the week trying to recapture that feeling. It showed its face, but mistily, and disappeared before it came into focus. I was sad to leave as I packed my suitcase, and I hoped I was taking back a teeny bit of that feeling. But when I got back to Manchester, I unzipped my case slowly, hoping against hope, but no, I couldn't see it, I couldn't feel it, and I couldn't smell it. Maybe it doesn't last well in a suitcase, or maybe it's a moment rather than a permanent feeling. Now, the tits and lips wanted to know if the men were hot. The arty crowd wanted to discuss the theory behind the practice. I was definitely home. Thank you.
Amazing. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
That middle bit I put in the chat was like the plot thickens.
Laughter yoga.
That was absolutely brilliant, as always, Ilaria. We absolutely love your work. Oh, that was so good. Amazing. So we're going to have one more act. We're not acting, we're reading poetry, Becca. Come on. We're going to have one more poet, and then we'll have a little break. So next up, we've got a returning poet. Rich, come on down. Let's get you on.
Hi, thank you. Lovely to be back. Really enjoying the evening so far. Well done, everyone, so far. It's been brilliant. I specialise in poems of extreme gormlessness. I'm going to read you one from my book, Gormless, which came out through Tim Beard Books last year. And then I've got a couple of new bits I thought I'd try out. So this one is probably better if you imagine Antonio Banderas reading this to you. I know it's a stretch, but if you've any boozing, now's the time. This is called Pantalones de Amor, which is Spanish for the trousers of love. In my wardrobe they swing from a hanger above, Pantalones de Amor, the trousers of love. They are made of black velvet with diamonds down the seam. I must wear them with earplugs because the ladies all scream. My erogenous trousers fill them with delight. At the bottom, they're flared, round the buttocks they're tight. So tight are my trousers that when ladies greet me, they ask, "Are those castanets in your pocket, or are you just pleased to meet me?" I am chased down the street in these lady arousers, but their love's not for me, it's just for the trousers. Hypnotized and bewitched by the diamonds that gleam, they claw at them wildly and pull at the seams. I can't run fast enough, so I have to be smarter. I'm afraid if they catch me, they'll beat my piñata. With the power of trousers comes responsibility. And the ladies around here, they run faster than me. So they hang now in mothballs. I don't wear them no more. Dangerous love trousers. Pantalones de amor. So that was the first one. That's in my book, Gormless. Thank you. Very kind of you. No, I've tried writing a bit of flash fiction recently because I've got a very the book part of the proceeds goes to the ME Association. I've got ME. I wouldn't recommend it. I've got part of the thing is short-term memory problems, and I really enjoyed Ushi's poem about being neurodiverse and not diagnosed with it, because I found out I was at the age of about 47. Yeah, there's lots of people who'd like to go back and strangle, but they frown on that. Never mind. Anyway, this next one is flash fiction, and it's called The Worst Advice I Ever Received. Do you know what was hands down the worst advice I ever received? Go on. It was dance like nobody's watching. But they were watching, all of them. Their soulless, sneering eyes mocking my every step. That is why I had to gouge them out with a dessert spoon. That is why I was forced to silence them. All of them. And is that all you have to say in your defense, Sister Margaret? It is, Your Honor. Sounds legit to me. I once strangled a guy for laughing at my breakdancing. So I feel your pain, sister. You're free to go, sweetheart. Guard your pay for me. Moments later, Sister Margaret was striding, bold and determined, into the biting Chicago morning air. Deep in the pocket of her habit, her thumb caressed her gouging spoon. A wicked grin swept slowly across her face. Maybe this time I'll try a polka, she cackled. And this next one is part of a trilogy called the Smuggler's Arse Trilogy. Classy stuff, this, isn't it? And this is going to be my next book. And this is called The Cheek of It, Zoo Drug Ring Horror. A zookeeper, Amanda from Uganda, tried to reprimand a panda, but the panda bit her arse cheeks off. Did the panda understand the reprimand, and was it planned, or was it random when he sank his teeth in and began to scoff? Amanda couldn't sit, she had to stand because her ass was in the panda, but a doctor was on hand. He slapped the panda on the back and made him cough. Amanda's cheeks came out all right. The doctor sewed them back on tight, except he mixed up left and right, and now they rub against her tights. She's really struggling. The problem is they're too far open, but she's found a way of coping. In the bath, she dropped the soap in. She can fit an ounce of dope in, so she's smuggling. Now, after a short time, she quite enjoys a life of crime. Her anus is a real gold mine. It's not the life she planned to seek. But now, Amanda from Uganda is even grateful to the panda. She had his face tattooed on both the cheeks. Probably quite enough from me, thank you.
Oh, you're just effortlessly funny. Honest to God. Absolutely fantastic. Do check out those comments in the chat box because, oh my God, it says it all. Thank you so much, Rich. That was like a gift. We all needed that.
Thank you.
Wow. Well, what a way to end the first half, eh? That was bloody brilliant. Well, that is exactly what we're going to do now. We're going to take a quick break. So we'll take about 10-15 minutes and yeah, go grab a drink and we'll see you shortly. Hello, everybody. I can't even speak anymore. I'm that excited. So here we are. It is the second half of our 10th Spoken Word and Poetry Open Mic Night. Epic. It has been amazing so far. I just wanted to quickly plug Rich's book, Gormless. He's put the link in the chat, so do go and check that out. His work is amazing. There's just no other word for it. So this was a little bit unplanned as one of our headliners sadly can no longer make it to tonight's event. So I thought I'd read a piece myself and then we've got another performer coming on a bit later just to make it up. So we're still giving loads of opportunities out. So this, you guys are the first to know, so this is pretty cool. This poem is called Come Let's Dance, and I submitted it to the Upload Fest, BBC Upload Fest. If any of you are familiar with BBC Upload, I would strongly recommend that you utilise the platform because 9 times out of 10 they will respond to you. in a positive way. And I submitted this poem, and because it was very, very close to my heart, hearing that it was going to be played on BBC Radio Manchester this Saturday, kind of like, I did a little happy dance, let's just put it that way. So here we go, let's go for it. The sound of the 50s, our sound, like a wave, covers the dance floor, fills the air, and as it ripples further into the crowd, couples start to cheer out loud as their bodies start to move in time with the jiving beat, and without a moment's hesitation, have let their feet lead them to the floor to dance as one. I stand, without a word, watching the couples thrive in this jumping jive as I turn to you. Come, let's dance, I say with my eyes, and I offer my hand with a warmth only you could recognise. You smile in return and accept willingly. We dance with total abandon, freely. The way our bodies move as we dance radiates familiarity, and others stop, smile, watching in admiration as we relish in listening and moving to this music, in each other, in how it unites us. Thanks. So yeah, that's going to be on BBC Radio Manchester. Not freaking out at all. But yeah, it was some really good news that I had earlier this week. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. And oh, you know what? I'll do one more, shall I? This is quite a short one, and some of you may have heard this one before. But this was inspired by, I think it's Project AER. It's a song of theirs called Somewhere We Can Rest. So this was kind of inspired by that and the artwork to go with it. I dream of the day we can sit, lie side by side in a way that releases the tension we hold on to from the modern world. I dream of the day we can lie under the stars with our hearts as full and calm as the steady sea, just be together. I dream of the day we'll float upward, momentarily suspended from Earth, no gravity, just us and the crescent moon. Thank you. Oh, I go all sheepish when I have to do it. Thank you guys. Thanks for your comments as well. I'll have a little read of those in a moment. So next up, we have got a returning creative. I absolutely adore this woman. She is multi-talented, and you should all go and check her out on social media at Little Strings. So come on, Claire, show your face. Let's get you on.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it. And everyone's it's just so wonderful. I love how it's always such a mix of people as well. Can you hear me all right? Is it quite quiet, or can you hear me okay? That's good. You don't need to see me, but as long as you can hear me, that's all right. So thank you, Becca. And oh, you're making me gush over that intro. If I'm allowed to do a cheeky plug for a hot second, thank you. So I've got 2 poems that are in an exhibition this week, which is so exciting. And it's in Glasgow, but it's also available virtually. So it's called A. Scott Gallery. So if you Google that, or if you go on my social media later, I'll put it in the chat, there's a link to that, so you can go and view. It's so many different, there's fashion, there's paintings, there's sculptures, there's so many other amazing poets in it as well. It's a really mix, and it's wonderful. And this is one of the poems I wrote that I didn't end up putting in the exhibition, but almost made it to the exhibition. And it's about living in Glasgow and living in Scotland as someone who's not from here, from Wales. So not that far away, but it's called This Greenery. The parks, a distilled, preserved shot of greenery, heaven sent for me. to help me keep within my own sanity. I'm going further north, I said, and I'll stop when I hit water. Ah yes, the water. I miss the sea, being a 10-minute walk away from the beach. I'm from a small town, but bigger cities prepared me for subways and concrete. And it was a natural surprise to see what more there was to offer. I couldn't live here if there wasn't all this greenery. The parks and proximity to the mountains and coast is what I really needed, more so than any career prospect or networking opportunity. It's the greenery that made me think, yes, here is where I can build my community. Under grey sun rays, being higher up on the map, this place keeps me curious like a new wonderland. My little plan didn't always look the same, but the higher up one meant I was happy to change. Thank you. And I've got another one, and this is one that I wrote a while ago and I constantly go back to rework, but I've actually never performed it before, so this is the first time I'm performing it. That's exciting. Okay. My heart doesn't always keep my best interests close. I have to wake it up, speak out against it. My heart blames others. I blame my heart. Maybe I should blame me. Stop lying to myself and allowing myself to listen. I'm at war with myself. I need outside help. Because maybe the problem is me. Maybe the problem is me. Every heartbeat goes de-dum, and with every iambic, the D, my heart is being tugged away from me. Every soft, playful pull eventually turns into a yank, and it hurts because my heart is beating its fists against the bars of my ribcage, trying to get out, bursting through the gaps to get out of me and reach you. But my body, I am holding myself back, and my heart is furious. Furious with me, my skin and bone body, for not letting it get to what it wants. But it doesn't always understand what it wants is wrong for it. And like dealing with a stubborn child, I have to speak to myself with care and love. I want what I want, not what I want to want, because I understand what I need. Sometimes I have to fail to succeed. It might not be me. It might not be me. Somebody else has put my brain to sleep. I listen out as so much of society lies to me. And I have to pull my heart back to me, come back to me. I am yours and you are mine. Oh, my heart. My body is a protective barrier from the world. You want my heart? You'll have to go through me first. Thank you very much.
Oh, that last line. Oh, that Agnes, that. I was like, oh, you'll have to go through her first. That's right. That was amazing, Claire. Thank you so, so much. Wow, every time you perform your stuff, I'm just like, what more can she do? Brilliant, brilliant work. Oh my God, I love it. Big love, big love. Wow, read the comments in that chat box. Like, you deserve all that praise, absolutely. Well, without further ado, let's introduce the next poet, and it's another Claire. This time it's Clare Barry. Hello. I think this is the first time you've performed with us. Is that right, Claire?
It is the first time I've performed.
Amazing.
With you.
Well, welcome. Yeah. And the floor is yours.
Okay. Hopefully I won't be lowering the tone. I've got two things. I've got a poem I'd like to do and a short monologue. The poem, I have a problem with my balcony. So I wrote this poem to vent my frustration about the balcony. The poem's called The Pigeon Brothel. There's a pigeon brothel on my balcony. I don't always see them land, just hear the noise, like throat singing. The sound of fornication. They are constant fornicators. In lockdown, I'm here all day and will end their free reign. A fake bird in the window. They didn't care. Spikes on the balcony. 4 days to disregard them. A cushion always close at hand. Mid-video chat, I'll leap up like a gazelle to hurl it against the window. People think there is an emergency. There is. I am the pigeon police and will disperse this unwanted brothel. Did you know pigeons can fly straight up? They do when I throw my cushion. These are not nice pigeons. They are feral rock doves, not pretty, like white-collared wood doves. They think my tower block is their crag. When the rain comes, my designated pigeon orjaw brush is deployed for the poop, droppings, guano, doo-doo, jobbies. Never mind COVID, I have COVID. Okay, yes, I feel I've vented now, so that makes me feel better. This second one I refer to as a, oh, let me just get it in place. I refer to as a monologue, which is stuff I've been doing for a few years, is writing bits and pieces about my mother. This one's called The Cabin and the Mother Figure. I went out a lot in my youth. There was one club we used to find ourselves in after the pub on a Friday night, the Cabin. Well, the bin, we called it. If you'd been there, you'd understand. But much more my kind of scene than the Club Continental, where an outfit of anything more than a chamois leather was frowned upon. But the bin, you went in and there was a bar and pool tables. But if you dared to venture further, there was a staircase which led to a lower level. It had a dance floor with those multicoloured squares with flashing lights underneath them. When we described it to my mother, who was originally a nurse and also self-designated World Chief Fire and Security Officer, she said, "Oh, I don't think that sounds good. What if there's a fire?" I put her at ease by explaining, "Oh, Mum, there's no way it could catch fire. There are so many sweaty bodies down there. And as far as I know, no ventilation. Honestly, the place is just too damp." Thinking back now, it probably was an absolute death trap. I was getting dressed to go out one night. I must have been in my early 20s, and I was feeling very cool in my little pink cardigan, my brand new size 10 jeans. I don't remember there ever being a size 8. And if there was, I'm sure they would have been children's clothes. And me and my friends, we just wanted to wear women's clothes. My jeans were pinstripe, lycra drain pipes. Well, obviously, they're just called skinny now. And kickers, black and red. So after studying myself in the mirror on the landing, I swaggered downstairs to the living room to present myself to the mother figure, quietly confident at her delight at how stunning I looked. "So, Mum, what do you think?" There she was, sitting on the couch in her seat, the right-hand side of the couch, next to her filing cabinet. That would be the crevice between the seat and the arm of the couch, where she stuffed all the bills that she didn't want to deal with. She inspected me carefully, you know the way they do. A good look up and down. and an extra scrutiny through the bifocals, before she said, "I can see all your vulva." Boy, that made me feel attractive. For years, I couldn't leave the house without doing a vulva visibility check. That's it.
Oh my God. That was just... You know what? I think that's one of my favourite pieces of the night. Thank you so much, Claire. That was just brilliant. And that first one as well, incredibly witty. I think everyone's comments agreed with that in the chat box. So thank you so much. Just brilliant. Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Oh, well, what a night this is turning out to be. I am absolutely buzzing right now, as you can probably tell from my face. But we've got 2 more poets to go, and then the rest of the night is yours. But next up, we have got another returning poet, and this one is Linda. Hey, Linda. I saw that little cheer there, and I was like, oh.
I'm so glad to be following Claire. I feel like I found an ally. We could share the same mother, I swear. Oh my God, that judgmental look. Wow. Absolutely fantastic, Claire. So I've got 3 things I want to share tonight. I chose a theme of technology. So the first one, and also observational, as most of my stuff is. The first one I wrote probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, when one of my daughters was going through a bit of a Instagram body morphing phase, you know, when they kind of question everything. So this is that. She wakes and reaches for the phone, feels its energy flow through her veins and connect her to the world. The news feeds her face with flickering light, and she's instantly transported, in flight, to a space where her world sits parallel to mine, where everything's the same, but enhanced, dreamlike and unrefined. In her world, the ground is not stable. Each step she takes is recorded, analysed, and given a label. And she is measured by a hall of misshapen mirrors, which bend and distort her perception into a nightmare of horrors. So she questions every reflection. The people travelling with her are not all friends, not close, not family, yet they have permission to dictate her trends. She pays for advice on a credit with a card that has no limit to the bank of her own self-assurance, cashing in on her mental health, exchanging falsehoods for confidence. So while she scrolls and absorbs glossy presentations, does she see they're depicted through the same mirrors with the same alterations? Does she realise the power of her addiction, how it harbours self-doubt, anxiety and validation? If she could see, her world sits parallel to mine, where the ground is stable and the rocks clearly defined. Perhaps she could visit, convalesce a while, restore her beliefs and regain her smile. Thank you. So then on a similar theme, I was thinking about my mum and dad and how they can never find the words for anything. And I wrote something called Thingamybobs. So I think you'll all relate to this. All right, just bear with me while I... Hi, Dad. Thought I'd call, check up, everything's all right. I'm not stopping long. Got to call at Tesco. It's past 8 tonight. The what's-it's gone off the clicker. You can't fix it, it's broke. We need to take it to the menders. Ask that foreign bloke. I'll drop the clicker in, Dad. Has the dog chewed it? Because the last time he got the channel buttons, it vomited on the carpet. Dad gets up off the sofa, not as quick as he used to. Mum says it's because of his doofers, and he won't do the exercises he's told to. I've told him to go to the doctors, she said. See that nice what's-it chap? He sorted it when he got blisters, but that was a year or two back. Oh, love, can you have a look at me Ujima flip? I think it's broke again. Can't see any watching my things, and it's bleeping just the same. Mum's Ujima flip is a phone, a first at her age, and watching my things are posts, Facebook page. Dad comes back, Kindle in hand. It's on the blink, my page is jammed. Can you fix it, love? Look at this. It's lost me books. There were loads on my list. We went to that place yesterday, says Mum. The one next to Furniture Wise, next to the old butcher's that used to be the florist. They do lovely vanilla slice. Saw the couple from 49. The one that needs new gutters. The one with the bins they never take in. The old guy with a stutter. She looked quite decent, says Mum. Wore a beautiful coat. Lovely maroon colour. A bit like mine. Different shape and slightly different colour. Obviously got money, that one, Dad says, but doesn't like to spend it. Don't know what his job is. He dresses like a feck in Egypt. Oh, Derek, says Mum aghast. Language in front of our Jules. Some of us prefer proper English. Not like you fool. Thank you. That's that one. And then I wrote one this week, which is called Google Box. I can just find it. Oh, I've gone all shaky again. Don't know why I do that. Wish I could stop it. Right. Miss Google and me. I know how Google works, it's magic. How she learns my likes, my pauses, my picture scrolls with formal logic. And I don't have a problem with that. We're aligned, pinning opinions, double clicks, chewing the fat. I like to think she's family, or a best friend, or even a twin. My confidant, my secret saver, who agrees with everything. But recently, my ally has drifted. We're growing apart. Something's shifted. It started during lockdown when I searched new things. Couch to 5K, writing, drawing, painting. And Miss Google, she was thrilled, sent me stuff every day. Try this, have a go, try it a different way. So I did, with joy. I ran 5K at most. She proposed a challenge with a run from coast to coast, or cycling in Siberia, or climbing in Tibet, all achieved through an app, counting steps. And I got drawn in. I tried a couple of online classes, a HIIT training session, then booked CrossFit when they lifted the restrictions. And she went wild, thought this was my new passion, pushing training, must have apps, health, nutrition. She started suggesting diet plans, showing creams, delivering dreams, and the occasional surgical implant. She had me caged. My bestie, Miss Google, was now my nemesis, slapping me with images, beating me with choices, shackling me to offers and promotions and courses. She wants me rebranded, a whole new identity, slimmer, toned, clear-skinned, line-free. I tried to talk to her, sent a written warning. Unsubscribed, unfollowed all the stuff that pervades my feed, cleared my junk, my cache, rooted out the hidden seeds. She snuck back in. When I was watching movie clips or randomly scrolling, ads pop up, Lycra sports gear, the type that keeps your belly in. So I deleted her. I got rid of the bossy cow. I cut her off, uninstalled, reset, and moved to Firefox. and she disappeared. Went like that. No mither. But it seems she's had the last laugh. Took my passwords with her. Thank you very much.
Oh, that was brilliant. I think everyone can relate to that. My God. I was like, yeah, couch to 5K. Yeah, get that. Yeah. Oh, it is. Janey's right. It is literally a Google rabbit hole. It's so well written, Linda, as ever. Please take a moment and plug your book. Everyone needs to know about it.
Okay, I wrote a book called Everything Changes in Your 50s. Most of you are not there yet, but you know, you will get there. Believe me, you'll need it.
1 year off. I'm taking notes.
Through with a bit of a laugh, I hope. It's on Amazon. Everything Changes in Your 50s. And I had some lovely shout out to my illustrator I work with from Manchester, Victoria Malenkov. She's just a lovely artist that I met in Manchester, and she did all the illustrations for me, which are really funny. So yeah, if you've got a spare fiver, go and get that.
Amazing. Everyone go check it out. I believe the link is in our bio on Instagram. So we've got Blue Balloon Recommends, always there, always on our link tree. And it's just to help support people within our community if they've written things or if they're doing a lot of projects and got lots of good stuff going on. We like to share that stuff. Anyway, thank you so much, Linda, again. And finally, we're on to the last act. I said it again, poet. We're on to the last poet of the evening. Lacan, have I said that right? I hope I've said it right again. Yay, amazing. Hello, my friend.
Yeah. Hello. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And also such great artistry tonight. I mean, on your end, it's morning here.
Amazing.
So,
what time is it where you are?
it's 4:15 a.m.
What? That is commitment.
That's okay. I got used to it. Like people always joke that I work. Usually I'm up at this time because I follow the British or the European timeline for events, and then after that the American. So usually I sleep during the afternoons. So,
Play to you. Well, the floor is yours. Let's hear you do your thing.
thank you. Whew. Magandang umaga. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lacan, and I am from the Philippines. And I'm a page performance slam street poet. So my first piece is actually my newest piece. I wrote it 2 days ago for a friend that needed to hear the words in this piece. So here it goes. May I still speak, even if my mouth has been buried already, laid to rest in a memory that even loneliness does not want to accompany. To have words that have passed through a limbo that created me, being stuck in a mute longing of forgetfulness. Being strong mastered the burial of what makes me alive. Living a piece of lips that does not know why it's pale. Fleshed to the flesh, boned to be unboned. Parts that part the person I thought I'd be. It's not like I'm not happy being me. I just know happiness is not its happiest. And my words hangs in an empty throat. Words that I shouldn't be, but wanted before. For 4 hours, I've been memorizing a list on my tongue. Must is a word that can talk back. And I'm too tired to even answer to a finger that points. How? How can a voice say anything inside the tomb I've put flowers on every day? Maybe can be engraved in it. It says a silver scripted script, spelled much like why. Thank you. That's for my second piece. I think a lot of people talk about discrimination and racism, and I want to talk about the pleasant discrimination against Eastern poets by the West. This one I made for a feature that I did for Nashville. It's called Holding Shift on Reboot. Breathe. Oxymoron clicks beginnings as I enter a room full of chagrin cliques. 6 a.m. of a Manileño in New York. Screens of gasps. Enter Brown Nation. Alt Control Delete. If only skin can ration silence, volumes of stares can scream. Their gawking murmurs of backs spaced my throat longer. My fingers had spaces and linger paces. Unmute or video off. Well, either way, irony types quickly between an underscored accent or a dashed face. Judgment is live in the background. The mic opens in Filipino, closes in minimized rotation, assimilate or assassinate, toggles in windows that knows how to shut itself. X is easy when you're Asian in the West. Bracket Y is terminated in quotations. Exit signs in with parentheses smiles. Diversity has caps. Lock the pleasantries. Redo gratitude. It's your button pin. No? Currency is spelled much like courtesy. A paste white key in the board of poetry. Down, says the arrow. We just follow. Apparently, mimicry is numbered 1, 2, 3. Minutes are spelled by flicking nails. Cursor the breathing, even that is ivory. Copy, cut the tones, paste the pace at a comma, slash out cadence. Hands rhythm, aligns in a bent colon. They do love a good chameleon. Huh? Mirror the words they don't need a browser for. Search, switch. Asians can't be a tilde bitch. Don't be a pointer. Trash can't be labeled. Recycle branded ethos. Refresh as it ends. Period. A whole symbol of a coded bow. Done for the charity Eastern character. Taste sticker, stop. With their tab claps, be content. You're just a break in their menu. Compliment isn't cheap. It's free, really. Especially for a third world country. Function to appear welcoming. Asterisk exclusivity, a setting hidden in the piles of chats. Generosity, share the dole slot for a non-native English speaker. Page is a slide on the side. Time to log off, the poor islander who can zoom. Me. Everyone waves with a nodded control W. F1 is never a shortcut in the capital. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat.
Wow. My God. I've just put in the chat box, I would love to see you perform in person because I literally got goosebumps listening to you and watching you. You're such a passionate performer. That was just amazing. Amazing. Well, yeah, Tom says, get down to Manny, meaning Manchester. Absolutely. You should definitely come to Manchester. You would go down a treat here. Like your poetry would definitely be appreciated. But wow, what a way to end the evening. I am so immensely grateful to each of you for bringing your words and being so open and vulnerable at times and passionate this is exactly why we set up these evenings, so that we can explore that together and create a really safe space for you guys, an encouraging space for you. So I really, really hope that you've enjoyed tonight, and leave us a comment on social media, post any pictures that you've taken. We would love to see them. And just thank you so much to everyone that's been here, whether you like Carol, who's just appeared, or whether you've read something out. Our next open mic, we hope, will be Carol's got her alcohol, which is great. Our next open mic, we do hope, will be in, what month is it? It's June, isn't it? We hope it will be in either August or September, but it's COVID dependent. We would like it to be in real life next time, but we'll see what happens. But again, thank you so much. If you've been watching this a little bit later than the live event on YouTube, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time.